What up, guys? This is Cheevo Guides, back here again with another achievement guide. Today we're going to be focusing on King of the Arcade. This game is published and developed by Supervillain Games. If you're an achievement hunter, you may remember their first game, Doug Hates His Job. I highly recommend checking that one out as well. It's a fairly easy completion with cheats, and I also have a guide for that one. Now, their new game just went up for pre-order. The game's actual release date is April 12th. The game is going to be $7.99. Has a little bit of a discount if you pre-order it. It's currently up for pre-order for $6.39. Now, if you know what you're doing, you can get the full 1000 gamer score in about 15 minutes. However, if you don't know what you're doing, this could take you a few hours to get all the achievements. There's basically a hard way to get each achievement, and there's an easy way to get each achievement. I also want to give a huge shout out to this developer / publisher. Not only do I have an Easter egg in this game, but I have my own achievement related to this Easter egg. So that's really awesome, and I appreciate that they did that. With that being said, guys, I think that's a good breakdown, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The whole game takes place in a 3-story arcade that's filled with over 40 arcade games. And believe me, we have all types of games here. So if you're someone that used to go to arcades or you just love arcade games in general, you'll probably definitely appreciate this game. Again, it has over 40 games for about $8. So let's go ahead and get started. All of the achievements are in the story mode. So press story mode from the main menu. It's going to start up the game, starting off with the intro cutscene. You can actually just press A to skip through all of the dialogue, and once the intro ends, we'll end up in the arcade for our first time. Once you're in the arcade, you're going to head over behind the counter, and you're going to talk to Gus. Now, Gus will give us a job at the arcade, but only if we set the high score record in Retro Invaders. To do this, you need to pass the first 5 waves of the game. Now, for all the dialogue in this guide, I'm going to be mashing A to skip through all the dialogue. However, I recommend actually checking it out because the game is filled with a ton of funny jokes. Now, after you talk to Gus for the first time, you're going to unlock an achievement related to doing so for 25G. After that, we want to head to the very bottom floor to the basement of the arcade. If you look behind the staircase, you're going to see a video game guide sitting on a cardboard box. If you look at the magazine, it says, "What up? This is..." And then there's an illustration of myself. This is the little Easter egg that I was telling you guys about earlier in the video. After you interact with that magazine, you're going to unlock an achievement called "What Up, Guys?" Not only that, but after you read my magazine, it'll give you a cheat code for the Retro Invaders game. That's the game that Gus asked us to set a high score in. The cheat code that it's showing you gives us unlimited lives, so we can die as many times as we want, which is going to make it way easier to complete the first 5 waves. Now, if you want to get the cheat code off the screen, make sure you press A to do so. After that, you want to interact with this laptop right here. You want to go ahead and select the top option, which is to play tic-tac-toe. To get a guaranteed win against the computer in tic-tac-toe, you want to start off by selecting the top left corner, then the bottom left corner, and then the top right corner. That should give you a guaranteed win, and once you beat the computer, you should unlock the achievement for winning a game of tic-tac-toe. After that, don't leave the computer quite yet. You want to select the second option, which is to hack the computer. That'll start up this screen right here, and then you're going to want to press Y for yes, and then it's going to pop up with a password screen. You can actually find this password hanging on the locker next to you. The password is "You Suck." That's USUK. You need to enter in the password so that we can hack the traffic light system. Doing this is going to make one of the other achievements much easier. It'll all make sense in a moment, believe me. So after you hack the traffic lights, we're going to leave the laptop and we're going to go all the way back upstairs. Now it's time to go ahead and play that game that Gus asked us to set a high score in, which is Retro Invaders. This is basically a Space Invaders clone. Again, this game is inspired by arcades from the 80s and 90s. Now, to set the high score that Gus asked us for, we're going to need to complete the first 5 waves. Now, this is obviously much easier if we enter in that cheat code that we got from my game guide in the basement. To enter in the cheat code, you need to type in X 5 times and then Y. You do this from the main menu in the Retro Invaders game. After you activate the cheat, you can check that it's active by letting the computer kill you. If they kill you and you don't lose a life in the lower left hand corner, that means that the unlimited life cheat is active. So basically you could die as many times as you want, which is going to make it much easier to get to wave 5. But with that being said, this game is still fairly easy, especially if you've played Space Invaders before. Now, I'm going to fast forward through these 5 waves, but it should only take about 4 minutes for you to get this done. After you complete wave 5, it's automatically going to end the game, and you're going to end up in a conversation with Gus. Again, I'm going to mash A through the dialogue to make this quick and to the point. But basically, Gus ends up giving you a job at the arcade once you pass wave 5. After you get a job at the arcade, you'll unlock an achievement related to doing so. Now, a quick overview of the story. This world famous gamer, Jimmy Joysticks, sees that you set a high score record in Retro Invaders, so he's obviously jealous of you. So he sends his assistant, Miss Valentine, on a task to ruin Castle Arcade. So what they do is they assemble a team of elite gamers to do an arcade takeover at Castle Arcade. An arcade takeover being that they block all of the popular arcades so regular customers can't play. Now ultimately our goal here is to get all of these arcade hogs out of the arcade. The main way to get rid of each of these goons is to beat their highest score in the game they're standing in front of. However, there is a quick way to get rid of each of these individuals. For example, if we go talk to the racer that was sitting right in front of that arcade right there, you can select the top option and let them know about the hacked streetlights, and they're going to leave the arcade. That's why we hacked the streetlights on that random laptop in the basement. If you do this, this is the easy way to get rid of this street racing guy without having to beat his high score. After you do that, you'll unlock an achievement for getting rid of him. It's worth 75 gamer score. Next, you want to go down to the middle floor, press RB to open up your phone, and go down to the purple icon with the soda and burger. It's called Grub Dash. What you want to do is keep scrolling through the different restaurants until you see the donut shop that says open. Press order, and you're going to get yourself some donuts. After you get those donuts, go talk to the officers in front of the virtual enforcement arcade. You can give them the donuts, and that's going to automatically get rid of the cops. Once you get rid of the cops, you're going to unlock an achievement related to doing so, worth another 75 gamer score. Now, next thing you want to do is talk to the lady with the Castle Arcade shirt on right here behind the counter. I believe she's the bartender, and what you want to do is play a game of game trivia. She's going to ask you some gaming trivia questions. I can show you the questions that she asked me as well as the correct answers, but I think there's a chance that you might get some different questions than me. If so, just make sure that you Google the questions so that you can get the right answer. For me, I had to say the original Xbox came out in 2001. I had to say that the first Nintendo product was playing cards. Then I had to say Street Fighter 2 World Warrior released in 1991. And then for how many dots in Pac-Man, I had to press 240. After you win the round of gaming trivia, you're going to unlock another achievement called Are You Smarter Than a Bartender, worth 50G. Not only that, but she gave you a bunch of cryptocurrency, and you can go over to this guy right here. He has a cyberpunk style to him. If you talk to him, you can give him the cryptocurrency, and you'll be able to get rid of this guy nice and easy. Once you get rid of him, you're going to unlock another achievement. I believe his achievement is worth another 75 gamer score. Obviously, giving him that cryptocurrency from the game trivia is way easier than trying to beat his high score in his arcade. After we get that achievement, we can go ahead and head down to the bottom floor to the basement. What we want to do is look on the workbench and read the karate magazine. After you read it, you're going to instantly learn karate. After you learn karate, go up to the guy in front of the punching arcade and tell him to leave. After you tell him to leave, you're going to end up in a fight, which is basically a quick time event sequence. So just press the correct buttons and you're sure to beat him up. Thank God we read that karate magazine, right? After you beat him up, he's going to leave and you're going to unlock an achievement related to making him leave the arcade. This is going to be worth another 75 gamer score. I believe that achievement is called Punch Champion. After that, a bunch of goons are going to show up to try to jump you. Again, you can easily beat up all these guys with your insane karate by pressing the correct buttons in the quick time event. So just do that, and after you whoop all these dudes, you'll end up unlocking another achievement related to doing so. Now, while our character is beating all these dudes up, I want to take a second to mention I have had discussions with this developer slash publisher about releasing achievement updates for their games. They did mention that that's something that they're trying to do in the future, so hopefully we'll see 2000 gamer score updates for Doug Hates His Job as well as King of the Arcade. I mean, this game especially has tons of potential to add achievements, as there's 40 different arcades in the game, and a good way to get players to try all these different arcades is to add achievements related to them. Anyhow, after you beat those guys up, you're gonna unlock an achievement worth 25G called the easy way or the hard way. Next thing you want to do is go to the top floor. You're gonna see a character in a schoolgirl outfit. What you want to do is pull up your phone. You're gonna go to the app called Flip Flop. I believe this is a parody on TikTok. Now all you gotta do is open the app. After you see the crazy person dancing with the paper bag on their head, you can go and exit your phone, and you want to talk to the schoolgirl character and let her know about the Flip Flop challenge. After you tell her about the social media challenge, she's going to leave the arcade, which is the easy way to unlock the achievement related to this character. Now at this point, I think we only have 2 arcade hoggers left in the arcade, and the next one we're going to try to get rid of is the guy with the dog. To do this, you need to go over to the claw machine and get a ball out of the claw machine. I believe this is luck based, so you may need to try a couple times until you actually get a ball. But once you get a ball, you want to go over to the character in front of the basketball arcade machine. He has a dog. If you talk to him, you can give his dog a ball. Once you give his dog a ball, they will leave the arcade. This is the easiest way to get rid of this character, rather than being their highest score. This will unlock the Hot Shot achievement worth 75 gamer score. At this point, what we need to do is go to the second floor. There's going to be a jukebox. What you need to do is go to the jukebox, scroll down until you see Country Love. You want to play the country song. Once the country song is playing, go to the top floor, and this guy will be covering his ears because he can't stand country music. All you need to do is talk to him. He's going to say he can't stand this, and he's going to leave the arcade. This is the quick way to get rid of this guy. That is the Burger Maker achievement worth 75 gamer score. After you get rid of the final goon, you can go talk to Gus. You're going to let him know you got rid of everybody, and then Jimmy Joysticks is going to walk through the door. He's going to challenge you to one final game, which is basically a Donkey Kong clone. All we need to do is complete one level. You can complete the level by saving the princess at the top. Once you save the princess, you're going to beat Jimmy Joysticks, and you will officially become the best gamer. After that, you're going to unlock an achievement related to doing so. That achievement is called King of the Arcade, and it's worth a whopping 200 gamer score. Now, keep in mind, even though we just beat the game, we are still missing one last achievement. To get that achievement, we're going to have to go continue the game once we get to the main menu. Now, I do think you need to wait through the credits. I don't think there's any way to skip it. I suppose you could probably go to the guide menu, force quit the game, and restart it. However, just watch the credits and they'll be done in no time. You can go ahead and check your achievements in the meantime. If you've been following along, hopefully you're at 950 out of 1000G. Once the credits are over, you're going to go back to the main menu and make sure you press continue. Do not start a new game. Once you're back in the arcade, go talk to Carla the bartender, as you have some unfinished business with her. You can go ahead and skip through the dialogue, and this should trigger your final achievement in the game called Breathless, worth 50G for doing one last breathtaking dance. And at this point, guys, you guys should have that full 1000G out of 1000G. As always, I'd like to give a huge thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers. We just hit 10 patrons. I'd like to give a special shout out to everybody in the biggest fan club, including TimG84, Kegger101, Kana25, and Rockmono44. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.